Flyover State of Film was shot in front of a live studio audience.
Three, a two, a one. Welcome everybody, and we are back. Episode 53 of Flyover State of Film, coming off a beautiful 4th of July weekend. As usual, I got my co-hosts. I got Brian, Joe, and Yusuf. What's going on, guys?
What's up, guys?
Hi.
Happy fireworks to everyone if they haven't stopped in your city yet.
Oh my God,
Sure.
the dogs.
They've started like about a month ago and they haven't stopped.
Yeah, they're just going to keep going.
Yeah, that's fine.
Speaking of 4th of July, there's not really much news because of the holiday weekend, so I'm going to one of our
Because of the
co-hosts. Yeah, the pandemic, you can't really do anything, go outside. So, I mean, you're most likely hanging out and watching movies. One of our co-hosts put up a list of movies he did for the holiday weekend. I'll put that up right now. But, guys, what did you end up watching this weekend? Start with you, Yusuf.
I watched Terminator, Dark Fate. And it wasn't that bad.
It's not terrible. It's inoffensive.
fine.
It's aggressively fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it starts off way too fast and way too hard, and it's impossible to keep that momentum or top it.
It certainly tries though.
Yeah.
Like
At
the
a certain
third act
point, you
is
go
just
like,
ridiculous. The third act
oh,
gets
yeah.
into that like so over the top nonsense and like just more and more and more. But yeah, the first 2/3 of it I actually thought were okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
and Linda Hamilton really seemed like she was forced to say words.
Well, that's what I had my problem. Like, I'm like not on this trend of like, let's just force people who are clearly done with these franchises back in for the sake of being in them.
Yeah,
And
I think she said enough. She didn't annoy me like a J Neely Curtis role in Halloween 2018, but like this one was just enough. And then I'm not sure the new actress that was in, not Mackenzie Davis, but the one who played basically John Connor's role. She was fucking great. She was
she was good.
man.
She was good.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she has kind of the most forgettable role in the movie, even though she's supposed to be the focus of the movie.
I don't know her name or anything like that. But like, yeah, exactly.
But her performance is good.
Yeah.
And I like Linda Hamilton in this. I like her kind of like, take no shit, whatever. But it's also that thing of like, at least in Halloween 2018, Laurie Strode's character had progressed in some way.
Yeah.
Like Sarah Connor is exactly the same person that she was when you left her 30 years ago. Nothing has changed. It's just like, I mean, I get it. She's stuck in a cycle and she hasn't dealt with the shit with her son and whatever, but it's like, it's a little boring. You know what I mean? Just to have her be a badass. Like,
yeah.
TJ.
How about you, Joe?
Oh, me?
Joe. I'm asking Joe.
All right. I actually knocked off a solid amount of movies on Brian's list.
Oh, then you guys can share this topic. Then.
Yeah, I watched Great
Go
Outdoors.
marry each other.
The new watches for me were Great Outdoors and Summer Rental.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those real quick. Those are two of my definite. Usually, the thing about my list is like sometimes I would have spread these movies out over the summer at different times, but because 4th fell on a long weekend and everything. And nobody was doing shit. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna turn this into like a fucking marathon. I'm just gonna knock out a bunch of these. How'd you feel about my John Candy double feature?
Oh, dude, I loved it. I really, so I had a lot of, I like Great Outdoors. Okay, I had a lot of fun with Great Outdoors, but I actually connected with Summer Rental a lot more. I loved they were in that shore house. They were the complete like Bennies, like Shoobies. And then I was actually really surprised, like its climax with the sailboat, like that just took a turn for me. Like not leading up to it, like the midway point, I felt like, oh, this took a turn I didn't see this movie going, Captain Ron style.
Yeah.
Because his family didn't hate him that much.
Well, there's a different vibe in Summer Rental and Great Outdoors too. Summer Rental, the dad is like a little more of an asshole. He's like, you can tell they're playing on the like, you know, they're taking a cue from Vacation and they're pushing it a little farther. And in Great Outdoors, Chet's just like the all around best dad, good guy. You know,
I think that's why.
And that's Dan Aykroyd coming in to put upon. But in Summer Rental, he's a little more selfish. You know.
Yeah.
I would add a movie to your features, and you can watch What About Bob?
I fucking hate What About Bob.
I love What About Bob.
That movie.
Yeah, I like What About Bob.
Speaking of What About Bob, I knocked off Jaws and The Sandlot as well.
Nice.
Yeah, some good ones.
And I was able to watch Jaws and The Sandlot like outside on a projector, which was really cool. Yeah, honestly, like The Sandlot, I think if I had to pick anyone in your list,
guys, come on.
What? If I had to pick anyone on your list, though, to me, The Sandlot's like the perfect like summer movie. Like it is so well rounded and feeling the summer vibe.
Best fireworks scene.
Yeah, I agree, and that was a late addition. Real quick, let me do the rundown for people. Jaws
and Dirty Dancing, and I got Dirty Dancing in there.
You got Dirty. I was going to talk about Dirty Dancing. Let me do the rundown real quick, and we can talk about that. Jaws, and for me, Jaws 2. I think Jaws 2 is super underrated sequel. Fuck the haters. I think it's a lot of fun. And then my other, what I would consider a double feature, is what we just talked about: Great Outdoors and Summer Rental. I also had Caddyshack, which is an all-timer for me. Independence Day, obviously, no-brainer. National Lampoon's Vacation. The Sandlot, which I said, too, was a late addition. Wet Hot American Summer, and Dirty Dancing. And, man, I forgot how much I love Dirty Dancing, and what a good fucking movie Dirty Dancing is, right? Holy crap.
Can I say really funny about your list? So, a list, and with Dirty Dancing. So, we were down the shore, and we were watching this like my family. Not Dirty Dancing, but my mom would go, oh, like, tell me 2 other movies you want to watch, like, with this projector. And she goes, oh, can you get Dirty Dancing or The Sandlot? Which I thought was so funny because they were already on your list.
Yeah.
So we had Jaws queued up.
They're all-timers, baby.
Although we didn't watch Dirty Dancing together, I'm kind of happy about that because of the subplot, and I didn't really need to hear the chagrins of, like, older
Oh yeah, you don't want to talk. You don't want to get into an abortion debate with your mom.
Not at all. So I was like, well, we settled on The Sandlot, and then I watched Dirty Dancing when everyone went to bed because they all went to bed at 10 o'clock.
Well, also, Dirty Dancing, despite being a PG movie, is mad horny too.
So horny.
Like watching around, and rightfully so. Patrick Swayze is unreal in that. Like he's like a Terminator that fucks in that movie. Like.
I even wouldn't. You could even throw, if Patrick Swayze was on it, you could throw Roadhouse in the summer movies.
Yeah, that's a summer movie for sure. It's all hot and he's still sleeping in that barn and shit.
He takes his shirt off and does kung fu outside. It's pretty tight.
Ooh, another one that can fall into that category is What About Bob? Bill Murray. Super salad.
I had a Bill Murray movie on here. I had Caddyshack on here, which is a great summer movie. I had 10 on my list. I actually watched 15 in my I want to shout out real quick Flight of the Navigator. This is one that's like only for me. Kids movie from the 80s. It was like my E.T. It's like a kids movie that I grew up with more than E.T. It's a Disney movie. It's just a real weird, fun premise and a cool alien spaceship voiced by Paul Rubin, basically doing Pee-wee. A lot of cool little features and stuff in it. It's just a lot of fun. Club Dread, R.I.P. Bill Paxton, and his
that's a good one.
Comedic role in a comedy, not playing comic relief in an action movie. One of Great Broken Lizard movie. Jurassic Park, which I don't know if that takes place in the summer, but hey, Tropical Paradise. Wait, right, and it came out. It's like one of the biggest summer movies of all time. That counts, right? It's supposed to Spielberg.
Myself and
There's
Irene.
The Jaws connection. I could second degree almost every movie on my list except The Sandlot. The only one that doesn't have a connection to all the other ones is Sandlot. Let me see what American Savagery. Oh, and I watched I watched TJ's favorite movie, The Shallows. So don't forget about The Shallows.
Karen Allen. You connect Karen Allen to Spielberg.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Good point. Nice.
Oh yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah.
So that was my summer movie weekend, July 4th. I didn't care about America, so I just sat in my house and watched movies.
What, TJ? Did you get anything good?
No, I mean, everything I've watched, especially Terminator: Dark Fate, I watched that too this weekend. I mean, you guys said everything I've watched. I even watched Jaws. I don't add Jaws Revenge in there because that's a Christmas movie. But
I watched Jaws 3 also. I got that.
Yeah, I watched Jaws 3. I mean, Dennis Quaid, The Bad 3 Days.
I saw you talking about your love of sorry, what's her name from Howard the Duck?
Yes, what an angel. But yeah, I mean, you guys got it all. Not too many plot holes in that we missed. Brian, what's your topic, buddy?
That shit is smooth as ice, baby. So
no, it wasn't as smooth as ice because we're going to the award show. So July,
we are the worst. The show is the fucking worst.
What did the ocean say to the shore? Nothing.
See you later.
Wave. Right?
We're July. The midway through 2020, and since we didn't have any news and I was just bored, we're gonna do an award show for the year. Ooh. It's kind of like a recap of news. There's one question which I'm gonna ask right off the bat. That way we can justify it being in the Flyover State of Film movie podcast. I'm gonna mention the category. I'm gonna say the nominees, and you guys can pick the winner. You could do it by voting or by just, shouting. All right, so best movie to come out in a movie theater. The nominees are Birds of Prey, The Invisible Man, Sonic the Hedgehog, or Underwater. What do you guys think? Who's getting this prestigious Flyover State of Film award?
Well, if we're doing a vote, I will vote. Or we can do ranked voting. I don't know how you guys want to do it.
I watched The Invisible Man last night for the first time.
I think The Invisible Man is the best, but I think Underwater was much better than I think most people probably would expect. Like, a lot of people probably wouldn't even give it a chance, and I thought it was pretty good. Yeah. Birds of Prey is fine, and what was the other one? Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
Yep, it sure was a movie.
Oh, you're a dad. You're such a dad because you're over that movie.
Are we talking about in theaters, watching in theaters? Since
it's a joke that only like 5 movies have come out in theaters.
Yeah, man, come on. I would say Invisible
What's
Man.
What's your topic, Brian?
The best.
Oh, we're done. We're just doing my topic now.
No. I would. Oh man, I loved Birds of Prey, but I actually will go Brian too. Underwater.
Yeah, where are you going?
Oh, I'm going with Invisible Man because I thought that was a good movie, and
I haven't seen it.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah,
and I can see the theater's experience being a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna give it to Invisible Man too. So Invisible Man and Underwater. Definitely the top choices.
Well, the only one I saw in theaters was Birds of Prey.
Oh, really?
I actually saw 2 of them in theaters.
I saw them I saw them all 4 because I'm a douche.
Check out whyilovemovies.com.
Hey, get that plug in, baby. All right, so now we're moving on to the recap joke questions. So this next next category says, what removed blackface moment fixed racism? Our nominees are It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with 5 episodes removed, 30 Rock with 4 episodes removed, Scrubs with 3 episodes removed, or The Golden Girls with 1 episode removed. Honorable mentions: Community, The Office, and Bob and David. Netflix.
So many honorable mentions.
Wait.
I do real quick, just because it seems like they're removing blackface despite context, right?
Yeah.
It seems like across the board, everybody. Now I know this is a movie and it's a TV show, so it's not streaming and it couldn't be. But why does Tropic Thunder get a pass? I know that it's commenting on blackface. I get that, but so are some of these other shows also commenting on blackface, and that doesn't seem to matter. It seems like the context is not relevant at this point, which I'm fine with, but I don't understand why that one movie gets a pass.
Especially It's Always Sunny, like it's basically doing what Tropic Thunder did. But
I didn't. You just surprised me. I didn't know It's Always Sunny removed those episodes. I thought they were the ones that stayed up. Oh, Hulu did it. Oh,
yeah. Only on, yeah, exactly. This is all, again, physical media matters, kids. If you have these movies on DVD,
yeah, if you need the blackface, you gotta get
because the game shows black.
Still enjoy blackface.
So, what instance fixed racism in your eyes, guys?
Oh, it's got to be Golden Girls.
Yeah, Golden Girls.
Of course, that's the only one.
The one where it's actually like not blackface, and it's like one of those. It's like a dumb farcical mistaken identity. It's like classic sitcom shit. It's like I can't believe nobody brought up the one where Kramer accidentally gets too tan and his black girlfriend's family gets mad. Like, is that just because they don't call it blackface? It's still blackface, right?
Or when that's the same thing that happened to Ross when he did tanning. So
yeah, Ross got two
yeah,
fourths on the same side.
What numbers are you? I'm Puerto Rican. Oh, okay. The next category is worst celebrity during a pandemic. Our nominees is Woody Harrelson spreading that 5G causes corona, the Imagine song led by Gal Gadot, the I Take Responsibility video led by Aaron Paul, even though he's not the one that leading it, but come on. And a hot take by Dean Cain, aka Superman Discount TV. Honorable mention: any white celebrity that owns a tequila.
I want to. Dean Cain, I mean, doesn't count. Do you really count him as a celebrity?
He's not a celebrity.
And also, like, it's not a surprise. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Dean Cain this is just more of the same for Dean Cain. He's just he's a real Scott Baio.
Guys. My vote would go. My vote.
Responsibility. That's the worst celebrity moment.
No. So my vote would go to Imagine if that happened. Like that happened first, and they should have known the I Take Responsibility video was bad.
Right.
So I take
they didn't learn. That's what makes I Take Responsibility worse. They didn't learn their lesson, and then they produced at least the Imagine thing. You can see a spur of the moment them thinking that's a good idea and just knocking it out in their backyards and throwing it together. But then somebody saw the backlash on that and was like, you know what we need? More production value. We need to put more effort into it. That's what the people want. Yeah, definitely. I think unanimously.
You see that button on your iPhone, just hit black and white. Cool. All right, now record yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the most wet blanket apology of 2020. We have Evangeline Lilly saying my bad for saying that she's not gonna stay fucking home because it's her freedom to go outside. We have Bob Iger saying
forever ago.
Yeah. We have Bob Iger saying, my bad, after Disney fined a school $250 for playing Lion King during a fundraiser.
Yeah, hey, they were making money off Disney, baby. The good thing they didn't show an NFL game and it fucking got their legs broke.
And we have Spike Lee saying, my bad for defending Woody Allen all this time during the Me Too movement. Where are you landing on this one?
Jesus.
Oh, it's only the 3 choices? I was hoping for some more because they're all so terrible.
No, I wanted to limit this category.
I think I gotta go. I think I gotta go Lily. I gotta go Lily. I can't pronounce her first name. Evangeline Lilly.
Evangeline.
Because that really kicked off the pandemic crazies,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
didn't even know what was going to happen.
Yeah, she was the
She was a front runner on not giving a fuck.
She was the Karenian.
But who was the celebrity early on that was like, whatever, people are going to die?
Oh, Vanessa Hudgens. Damn, that is
Vanessa
a good
Hudgens.
one. Oh yeah, that's a late runner up because that's like that one. Ooh, she almost could win this. She could take this whole category because hers was pretty
so high. Terrible. She was so high, and she was like,
she was super high.
Maybe I shouldn't be saying this.
Definitely should not be saying this, for sure.
I think she wins.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it to Hudgens late write-in.
With the late write-in. In the last category, most overplayed Twitter/TikTok trend, and the nominees are lip syncing to Trump audio.
That's it. That one.
That's it.
That wins.
That's the one.
I have nothing else to add to this category.
So terrible. What is that? That is not a skill.
No. You're just mouthing along.
You put on a blazer and just did the thing he did. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to see? Like, what is...
But she opens her eyes very wide. It's hilarious. All right, Brian. What is your topic?
Okay, this came from a rewatch of a movie, an all-time favorite of mine, of everybody's really. And it's one of those things, it's a continuity issue that I will never unsee. And every time I watch this movie, it bums me out for a second. But then I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's stupid. It's stupid to get to care about this. Why do you care about this? And I thought people have that all the time. You got to overlook something in a movie and keep on enjoying it. Now, I'm not talking about separate the art from the artist shit. I'm talking about small continuity errors and plot holes and little issues. And mine, the one that always gets me every time, and I sit and watch the movie and I'm loving this. And then I'm like, why? Why does this happen? Jurassic Park, climactic, the big, not climactic because that implies the end, but like the big scene with the T-Rex. He said comes through, tears down the wires, steps over the wall, eats the guy. Cool, great. When he knocks the Jeep back over the wall, why is that a big pit now? How did that become a giant pit? The T-Rex steps over it. It's high enough that a T-Rex can, so there's no way it's more than like 10 feet at the most, let's just say. But then when the Jeep goes over, it's this huge cavern and they're hanging off the side and they fall into a tree. A T-Rex would not have been able to climb up that concrete barrier. What's the point of a concrete barrier if he can climb it? So that's one that's always bugged me, and you can't do anything about it. It's an all-time classic. It's not like you're going to change Jurassic Park. Do
you know if there was like an edited out scene that
what would it be? A landslide? What would happen?
I don't know. Just like sometimes it happens, like a gap between what we see there and what was supposed to be done.
People, I don't know, like they push because it's literally the T-Rex steps off between the two Jeeps. He's right there, and then the one Jeep he basically pushes up against the wall and it goes right over, like literally almost in the same spot where he just stepped over. I just don't know what happened.
I think if we get this Spielberg cut, more explanation.
HBO Max, let's do this. Talk about why John Hammond lied about being there for the live birth of every animal when we know that there's a whole nother island.
Yeah. Or it's like at the end when the T-Rex comes in and saves him from the raptors. Supposedly, if you saw it in theaters when it first came out, you see the T-Rex like burst through a wall, but it's not there ever in any cut after that. So it's like you think they leave stuff out, but I got another one too for that one. Not Jurassic Park.
TJ. That was my only one. That's the only thing I thought of. I didn't come over.
Oh, I honestly couldn't think of some, so I looked them up. And
don't do that. Don't do that.
Wait, before you go, I'm just gonna lead off. I'm gonna lead off with Brian's though with Jurassic Park Lost. The one thing that always bothered me because I mean when you see Lost World coming out, I mean as a kid, you're super excited. And the movie gets to where it gets to, and then the T-Rex is coming on a ship to San Diego, and there's the scene where they get on the ship and there's hands hanging off the thing, but they never explain what happened. And you're supposed to think that like the T-Rex get loose, but it's too big to even get into like the cabin.
When it's back in the compartment, how did they? If he tore the guy's arm off, who was like holding on to the button. How did he then run back down the stairs and get back into the ship?
There's like all these body parts. Then you find out later that there was a scene where the Raptors got on the ship, but then so the Raptors are in San Diego now too, which is never explained.
Right, where did they all go?
Yeah. That and Jurassic Park's what I had down, and then one when I was a kid that bothered me still till now is in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. I don't know how music really works, and if freestyling was a thing back in the day, but I still don't understand how Vanilla Ice and his crew thought of a song in sync and got to dance together in that short
choreography ready to go and shit.
Yeah,
TJ, but you like Howard the Duck playing guitar with them.
But I don't want to tell you what the original lyrics to "Go Ninja" were gonna be. Okay, let's
there's a backstory to how
go Corona, go Corona, go
for that.
Go Corona, go Corona, go.
This
fucked up that
Vanilla Ice isn't talented enough for that. What do you got, Joe?
All right, so I'll name these honorable mentions after. But there is one that I've always thought of that I was like, oh shit. It's the end of. I love Batman Begins, but it's the end device of the water microwave like evaporation and people not being affected by it since we're mostly made of water.
Right. You got a lot of fluids in you for sure.
Yeah, like everyone would just be fucking bursting open, just like the sewer lines, which is even harder to get through. Like that is one of the most egregious ones.
But it's a Nolan thing. It's a Nolan thing. So you're just not intelligent enough to understand it.
Well, that was another problem. Dark Knight Rises, all the police people being trapped underground, then having fresh, clean shaves. Like
they look like their clothes are pretty clean and shit too. Like they come out, they've been living in the sewer for like a month.
Bane is not an animal. He's just sending them like that $5 shave club shit.
It's like, you must clean shave to wear the mask.
Middle of winter, they'd freeze to death.
Yeah, it's a flawed film.
Underground, yeah.
And then the other one is Back to the Future. Wouldn't they fucking notice who Calvin Klein was and be at least have some sort of thing of their?
Do you remember half the people you went to high school with?
Yeah, but a guy who's that integral to your.
It's one night.
Anyway, Batman Begins was the real one. I'll let you go. What do you got?
Yusuf's just mad. He just wants to get his out. Just let him get it out.
The only one that Back to the Future has is the second one when he steals the car to go to the past and change the future, but then he returns to the future that he changed to return the car he stole. That's the huge plot hole of Back to the Future.
My head just exploded.
But yeah, no, the one that I wanted, it's the Independence Day. The virus.
Oh yeah.
Like their computer system would just be compatible with ours, no problem. Like, just throw it up on some Wi-Fi, just shoot that bad boy up into the cloud. I guess they'll get it.
Put in
it was the '90s computers
or a floppy or whatever, and we're just gonna
Bill Gates.
Get up. Yeah, I don't know. That movie is fucking amazing. It's super flawed, but I always have such a pump time watching it.
Oh yeah, it's a plastic glass for sure.
But yeah, that ending, every time it happens, I go like.
But you're so distracted by them when they sit up and they're like, hey, bye bye, and they're like flipping off. They're smoking their cigars. I love it.
Also,
Elvis has left the building.
Yeah, when Randy Quaid like sacrifices himself through like the one ship, then like the one guy's like, let everybody know how to stop him. We're like, so now we're just gonna send like suicide bombs.
I love this. Like just go kamikaze on them. We know how to do it.
I actually used to confuse Critters and Independence Day because I used to swear to my buddy, be like, he hit the eject button, he's gonna show up in like the last second for some reason, like with the parachute like wrapped around him. It's like, no, he just sacrificed.
Also, the plot hole that Keanu Reeves is clearly the real father of that kid of Russell's son, who's like exactly like Keanu Reeves. To be fair, they do show him not being able to fire his missile. So ideally, you would think if you fire a missile into the main gun, that would work too, right? You don't have to sacrifice everybody. But I thought that same thing when I watched it this past time. I was like, so what, we're just supposed to fly into it?
another big one that was on like all the things was the Armageddon, like that even Ben Affleck brought up of like,
oh yeah, just the whole, you mean the whole premise of the movie?
Yeah,
that's the plot
a
hole.
gigantic hole.
The plot hole is the plot.
No, guys, I actually brought you here. I brought you here to talk about the core. Now, can Aaron Eckhart and Hilary Swank really get, and the Tooch get,
the Tooch is in that, yeah.
Don't forget about
so and Lindell.
Who? Oh yeah.
From the Five Bloods.
Yeah.
That movie's great. I don't know what everyone's sleeping on the core. This is the core cast now. Where we talk strictly core. Did they make you watch it in science class? Because they made me watch it in science class every year.
We watched Twister in science class.
Oh my God, this is a great example of the American educational system.
Right,
so, Joe, what's your topic?
All right, so a big like indie directors directed the core. And,
that's not true.
No, that's not true at all. But I did want to talk about like the workhorse indie director. I feel like we like not we, but a majority of always just talking like your Nolans, your Spielbergs, those top names. Let's give some credit of break up some of this fun.
About Eden,
yeah, just like that deserve more recognition. Backing off what we were talking earlier, I'm actually gonna start this one off with Lee Winnell with The Invisible Man. Like, I think he's a really talented director with Upgrade and writer.
Yeah.
And
big comeback in the last couple of years for that guy.
Yeah.
I was really impressed. He was, James Wan's like right hand man for a while, co-collaborator.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I say big. I say big comeback, but he's probably just been sitting making money off producing Saw movies for like the last 10 years. He's just didn't have to work, and then he was like, "Well, I guess I want to direct now." But he came back and he's doing very well. So
So Lee Winnell, and I think last time we did this topic, I also mentioned Jeff Nichols, and I will every time we mention indie directors. Just he's my favorite. But anyway, really want to kick it over to TJ.
Jeff Nichols, tell the people.
Jeff Nichols directed Take Shelter, Loving, and Midnight Special. He hasn't worked since 2016, except for on a short.
Didn't he do Mud as well?
And he did. So yeah, he started off with Mud. That was his big.
I love Upgrading. Upgrade's one of my favorites.
Upgrade's great.
Yeah, Lee Winnell.
Invisible Man was great. Like he nailed it last couple.
Upgrade slaps.
Yeah.
So like, and I was reading about Invisible Man too, and Lee Winnell like reluctantly in an interview was like, "Yeah, I didn't plan on this to be part of any universe. It's not, but they're making it part of a universe, so okay."
But they're also kind of bringing him in to help shepherd it a little bit, so at least maybe.
Yeah. So James Wan it. James Wan does stuff.
No,
like
I think what he'll do is just tell these small stories that happen to be around monsters in this world.
Yeah.
Like, as long as Blumhouse doesn't give them a mandate to like, I think it was Blumhouse.
Blumhouse.
To be like, hey, you have to have a team up movie, like our movie this week. They'll be safe. Anyway, TJ, who was your director? Because you did kind of ignited this topic in our chat.
Yeah, I'm just sick of hearing about all those big name directors all the time, and like guys like this, not necessarily an indie director, but just done smaller stuff until he, got shot in a couple things. I mean, he actually got a huge property. I'm not sure when it came out. It was in 2019, could be 2020. I don't know what time it is anymore. Mike Flanagan with
solid.
Hush. Gerald's Game, a couple Netflix properties he did. Like Hush is one of those fucking incredible.
Hush is tremendous.
So good. Like an hour and like 20
My only complaint with Hush is I feel like they revealed they didn't take off the mask way too soon. I felt they could have used that mask a little bit longer and done a little bit more with that. The movie's pretty good still.
Yeah. You should have worn that mask the entire movie.
Yeah, I agree.
He even made the good Annabelle movie. I know that's something.
And the good Oculus too. Is that him?
Yeah,
What was
Oculus.
it? Did he do Annabelle or Ouija, or did he do both?
It was he
Ouija.
did the good. Yeah, he did the good Ouija
Ouija
where
in the
they
beginning.
brought it
Don't
back
call it the
to,
good
like,
one. There's no good one.
well, I mean, he
I think-
tried to bring a little
He
bit.
tried to improve it. I get it.
Yeah,
Yusuf,
but-
who am I thinking of for Annabelle?
I don't
Sorry.
know.
I think it was like I think it was a Blumhouse. It's a Jason Blum, isn't it? Something like
he is
that.
correct.
But I mean, the big one I saw over this past upcoming 4th of July week was Doctor Sleep, which I fucking think was incredible. I mean, I don't think enough people were talking about it. It's a great sequel to The Shining. The recast of all the characters. I think I talked about this last time, but it's just one of those movies that he just doesn't get enough. This doesn't get talked about enough, and I hope he gets to see more. Maybe step out of the horror genre for a minute, do something different. But yeah, I think Mike Flanagan is one of those.
Yeah,
guys.
he's stuck. He's stuck in Stephen King universe.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're missing a big Mike Flanagan property that he did was Haunting on Hill House. That thing's a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Great episode.
People did really like
Because
that
his
one.
wife. Yeah.
Sorry, you're thinking of David F. Sandberg.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
he did.
Shazam, yeah.
Oh, for Annabelle, yeah.
Yeah,
Lights
Lights
Out.
Out.
By the way, Flanagan's wife is the girl from Hush and in Hill House too.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
David F. Sandberg, similar kind of director paths they had.
What do you got, Yusuf?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not here to propel another white male director.
Ooh. Okay.
So I picked a woman because I'm woke. This topic was kind of hard because, like Brian or I don't know whoever said it. Like every time I thought about somebody, like I just thought, oh well, enough people talk about them. Like I thought about Yorgos.
Yeah, I struggled because I was trying to find somebody who was like lesser known, but then I was like, oh, I don't know the name of a lot of lesser known directors.
Yeah. I thought about Yorgos, but he got fucking nominated for an Oscar. I thought about the Safdie brothers, but everybody's up their ass right now. Yeah, but everybody's up their ass.
Yeah.
I thought about Ari Aster, same shit. Everybody's up his ass. So I ended up with, I doubt that, and nobody here knows her name, and that's fine because she's done two small movies. Her name is Josephine Decker. She did 2018's Madeline. It's a very weird, very fucked up in terms of visuals. Movie, very uplifting, but at the same time very depressing. But she also did this year's Shirley, starring Elizabeth Moss and Michael Stuhlbarg. Which, funny enough, she's the one that wrote Haunting on Hill House. I think so. Yeah, Haunting on Hill House.
Really?
Yeah. Shirley
Are you talking about Fred Decker's daughter?
No.
Sure.
No. But yeah, no, she's a fantastic director, honestly. All her visuals are very, she has like this this pulsating energy through her visuals that you never know where she's gonna go with the camera and what she's gonna do. The editing is always wild. The cinematography is beautiful. I honestly think she's an amazing director. But she's very low key in terms of.
So can I ask you a question about her like being that low key, and like this is the question that all these indie directors can ask is, would you want her to do like a property movie or something big, or just like keep making the stories you want to make?
I mean, she's never. Well,
like maybe her own story, but with a bigger budget would be cool.
Yeah, like I think that's different than like give her Ant-Man.
I think she co-wrote Madeline, but Shirley was based on a novel of the same name, and where they depict like Shirley Jackson's. It's a specific moment in her life. It's kind of like a fictional biography of like a couple living with her and her husband, and them like manipulating them, playing with their life pretty much while she's trying to write the novel that she's writing. So the story works that it kind of you never know what you're watching in terms of like you don't know if you're watching her writing the novel or her fucking with the couple. So yeah, but no, I don't want her to get an IP. It's fine what she's doing. Like she's probably more
No, I
recognition.
just always wondering that because, like, I think that's something that's really lost with, directors or content creators today. Is everyone they do a couple good things of their own voice or their talent, and people want IP. And
I mean, look
like,
at. Yeah, I
rather
agree.
just.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, finish.
I was just saying, I'd rather just you get that like mid-budget movie instead that you would have like back in the '90s, and like here, go make your studio thriller, right?
Yeah.
Like or whatever, and we'll then give you funds to make your indie, like almost like that old Scorsese model of like I'll do one for you, you do one for me. I wish directors got that more instead of, well, you're now attached to do a whole series of Doctor Strange, and guess what? You've been a fan of Doctor Strange your whole life. You haven't, but now you have.
Well, you got to say you have now.
Yeah, but I prefer the Bong Joon-ho route of like just keep making interesting movies, and eventually somebody will go like, oh wait, let's look at all his previous movies because that last one was actually pretty good, and then everybody realizes, oh, he's been making good shit all this time, especially movies on trains.
Yeah.
Right, Brian?
Oh, am I finally gonna get to talk now? I mean, Jesus Christ!
Oh
Good
God,
thing.
damn
I
it!
saved some things up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we want to go again over your fucking list of 4th of July?
That's right. Let's let me talk for
Brian's
20 minutes
about
what I watched over the weekend.
That's
Fucking
Stephen
hell.
This is a difficult question, I thought, though.
Brian's like Dennis Dugan, underrated.
One person I thought that definitely fit into the workhorse category and somebody who has like been consistent in their quality. They haven't been around that many years. Like their first big hit was just maybe a little over 10 years ago. Is Matt Reeves? He's getting ready to do the Batman, but like Cloverfield, Let Me In, the Planet of the Apes movies. I mean, he just like hits. He's just doing hits. And so I thought that's somebody, another person that kind of like worked their way up from smaller things and then has done some bigger stuff. Michael Dougherty, who did Trick or Treat and Krampus, and then Godzilla King of Monsters, which a lot of us really liked.
Yeah.
And I wanted to shout out Alex Garland in that same vein, like somebody who hasn't put out too many things, but like went from a writer into directing, and then he's done Ex Machina and Annihilation, and then he just had that show Devs.
I haven't seen Devs yet.
I haven't seen Devs either. I heard it's quite good, and that's why the last one I was going to say, this is my like indie pick, I guess. I've only seen one movie he directed. I want to see another one, and hopefully he'll keep working. The movie Free Fire, Ben Wheatley. I really enjoy that movie. Gritty, mean little action movie. Fun cast. And he did a movie called High Rise with Tom Hiddleston that I'm interested in checking out. I haven't seen yet, though.
Tower?
Yeah.
It's called High Rise.
Yes. Brett Ratner, the indie director and sexual predator.
I thought you were gonna recommend Frank Oz, the director of What About Bob?
Yeah, I know you're a big fan. We didn't shout out that Carl Reiner directed Summer Rental earlier, guys, so we're bad people.
Have you seen Joanna Man?
No, and neither of you. You're racist.
It's a top 10 movie on Netflix.
I actually like the Michael Dougherty pick.
Yeah,
because I mean, he's doing the third one. Is third now? Kong vs. Godzilla, right?
No, Kong vs. Godzilla is somebody else. It's the guy who directed the new Blair Witch movie and Death Note on Netflix. So that's being a white man in Hollywood. You can have a couple of fucking stanking bombs and still get one of the biggest movie franchises on the planet.
That guy I thought did Evil Dead too. Evil Dead remake.
No, you're thinking of
that's Fede Alvarez.
Yeah, Fede Alvarez.
Yeah, I thought Fede Alvarez did the new Blair Witch also.
No, you're wrong.
Well, I would
right. Next topic. So nostalgia is a thing. The movie that we watched for this fucking podcast was based on TJ's nostalgia.
My wife also very nostalgic for this one.
And there's a 20-year cycle, or at least a theory. There's probably enough evidence for it to be real. That Hollywood recycles nostalgia every 20 years. So we're coming up on 2020. So get ready. Nostalgia for the 2000s is coming right up our alley. And I asked the guys what movies or genres or fuck anybody you're nostalgic for from the 2000s. And I want to start off, I want to leave Brian for last and start off with TJ. Because I want to make him wait.
Pains me.
Now, are we talking about like things that like
I read this question wrong.
kids are gonna like, rediscover? Like young kids now are gonna rediscover and like bring back and like Spencer.
This was my thing with it too, with the
What
question
are
of nostalgia,
you
because like a lot of
nostalgic?
the stuff I kept finding was just good movies that are still
All right,
remembered from that era.
I'm gonna
Because everything
answer.
the 2000s sucks ass.
I'm gonna answer mine. So just to set the tone, maybe that'll steer you, one of you guys, all the way.
Yeah.
I'm nostalgic for martial artists in mainstream movies, specifically with hip hop actors, aka Romeo Must Die,
Exit Wounds,
Jet Li, Cradle to the Grave.
Exit Wounds.
Yes, Cradle to the Grave.
Nostalgic as fuck for Jet Li just being fucking cool and kicking ass in mainstream movies.
Why wasn't there a rapper in Kiss the Dragon? That could have been one too.
What was the one with Dennis Rodman?
Double Team.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, but that's way before. That's not in 2000.
I know that's not 2000, but still.
But he had a string. He had like also he had The One and Unleashed, I think, and another one. But yeah, I miss fucking martial artists in mainstream movies. I know that we have the John Wicks and the Atomic Blondes, but I miss.
Yeah, we don't really have a big martial artist making American movies anymore. Like we don't have a Jackie Chan or a Jet Li. Donnie Yen is the closest one, but he's still making mostly Chinese movies. Like
Keanu Reeves count?
No.
He's. I mean, he is
part Japanese.
Asian as in adjacent. Yeah. But yeah, that was the spirit. I also miss not knowing that J.K. Rowling is a outward turf.
That is something about the 2000s that I also miss.
Yeah. Okay, TJ, I don't know. Did that help you? Or
a little bit. Okay. I got two. I mean, those like I'm nostalgic for those like the stupid, over the top comedies that you don't really like. Me, Myself, and Irene. Like I found of the ridiculousness of that. Bedazzled, like with Brendan Fraser. Road Trip. I mean, just like really dumb ones.
Road Trip was one that jumped out at me. I was like, yes.
Yeah, like shit like that. The ones that, and then like, I don't know. Pitch Black. I just rewatched this. I don't know fucking why.
This is one of mine where I was like, no, that's just a good movie. That's not like nothing to be nostalgic about. That's just good shit. Like,
and then like the RT 2000 film, The Beach, where everyone probably saw Danny Boyle was like, this movie's so good, and like college kids talked about it, and now it's like, it was just fun.
Yeah, I saw it like I don't think it was 2000. It was like early 2000s though. I saw Donnie Darko pop up, and I was like, there you go. Now there's a movie that the college set was all about. They were just wet for that one. They loved it. And if you're a freshman in college and Donnie Darko came out, that was your shit.
You got Joe.
So I read this question completely wrong. I thought it was, what are you nostalgic from 20 years ago, like in the 2000s? So
2000.
You wanted specifically the year 2000 because he's being
yeah. So that's how I read the question. So what I will say before I give my
what's 20 years ago, Joe?
Well, let me give my answer. No, but the year 2000, not the 2000s.
Right.
So I think currently we're in like what people are nostalgic for, and like myself, like Shrek, like that's there of that time. But how I answered the question was I put Little Nicky. I'm nostalgic for Little Nicky. I love that fucking movie. I find it funny.
That's fair. That was actually one of my big turning points with Sandler. I was like, oh no, I don't like this at all.
Oh, see that movie like turned me on to Popeye's Chicken.
Yeah.
I thought it was hysterical. I also got me into metal. Like that soundtrack, fucking.
That's worth it.
Slaps.
If it got you into metal, that's worth it.
Like that was I like, and I still watch it today. Like I know it's awful, but I'm like, oh hey, Quentin Tarantino. I didn't get that as a fucking 9-year-old.
And even was it Robin? Is it Robin Wright? Or what's her?
No, it's
Patricia Arquette is the love interest.
The girl, the love interest.
Patricia Arquette.
Yeah, Patricia Arquette.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I was hearing something completely different. You guys are saying.
Yeah.
David Arquette.
It's a funny movie. I mean, it's not a.
Isn't it Rodney Dangerfield in it too?
Yeah, it's Rodney Dangerfield's last movie. He's Lucifer. Harvey Keitel's hysterical.
Harvey Keitel, yeah.
Has a great
Kevin Nealon.
You know, Dan Marino comes and he's like, I just want to win a Super Bowl. And he's like, you'll win an Emmy as an announcer. And then he was like, I'm a Jets fan. Oh, great. I like that movie. That's how I read the question. Because I looked at 2000.
That's a good answer.
Myself and Irene was there, and I was like, I just like that movie. That's just a good movie.
Yeah, that's how I was having a hard time.
All right, Brian. The floor is yours. So excited to talk.
Again, make me wait. I had to talk during everybody's segments. So I was looking and I saw this movie that reminded me. I'm not necessarily nostalgic for the movie, and this is going to be one of those like creepy. I was just coming out of my teens, graduating high school things. The Katie Holmes vehicle, The Gift. See, I had been a teen with Katie coming out of Dawson's Creek, and then she was in the one where they do brain surgery on the kids. Disturbing behavior. And then when she gave up the goods and the gift right before she had her hard turn and went to Scientology,
cut from minute 50 to
getting boobies. It's not cool to talk about when you used to like. But I guess what I'm nostalgic for is that feeling of like excitement for nudity. I'm just like, I'm a grown ass man. I don't like, and not to mention in the cable era, every fucking show has naked people on it all the time. So it's like, there's no more of that like specialness to it. I don't think.
Brian, do you realize that what you said is a whole joke in Howard and Kumar?
I was going to ask.
Oh, is it really?
Is that the movie?
Yeah, of the two other stoners in their building, being like Finch from American Pie and Bernard from the Santa Claus. Being like, they're like, what are you doing? They're like, The Gift's on HBO, and Katie Holmes would show her titties.
Well, I would have been in the year 2000. I'd have sat down on that couch with him and enjoyed Katie Holmes. No, I did, but that's not. Don't worry, I have some non-creeper answers too. Has anybody? I'm nostalgic for a time when I was interested in projects that Kevin Smith was involved in, and that brought me to the 2000 movie Vulgar. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Vulgar. It's a black and white movie, basically about the clown from the View Askew logo, the old View Askew logo, where he like comes in and it's like a clown and he walks in, then he comes back out and he's got like a burlesque outfit on. There's a little kid there. When you're deep into the View Askew universe, like I was at that time, yes.
Jeez.
I have a question about this movie.
Sure, it exists.
Is this the one that one of the guys from Comic Book Men directed?
Exactly, Brian Johnson. Yeah, from Comic Book Men, the guy who plays Steve Dave.
Yes. Okay, I'm familiar with this.
But like I said, the movie itself is one of those like, try too hard to be edgy and dark, and like it feels like it was directed by the guy who plays Steve Dave and who's in a metal band and shit. But like I said, what I was nostalgic for was a time when I was excited that Kevin Smith, like the idea that he produced a movie and let his friend direct it, and like they had an idea together, and that I was interested in that. And so that's what I was nostalgic for. And then the last pick I had, I've done a fucking DVD bunker on this. So if you want to look me up, you can. But The Way of the Gun with Ryan Phillippe and Benicio del Toro, that movie kicks ass. It's like came out in the wake of all those like Tarantino-esque gritty act, like, two tough
Lucky
guys who
number
like
7.
say cool shit and whatever. But it's great. It's a fun one.
I have it on Blu-ray, and I've considered like putting it in the podcast, but then I went with The Quick and the Dead.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
They're
That was
both
good pick,
they're both good.
We did
Great
that.
Sarah
on
Silverman performance right at the very beginning, at the very top of that movie. It's hilarious.
All right, I guess.
Speaking of picks, we got to get into it.
I guess.
Yep, we got to do
Time
it.
to get that sweet dose of nostalgia, boys.
Yep, and it was my week, folks, and you know what that means. I put the guys through a little bit of hell. I even put myself through some hell on a rewatch that I was once nostalgic for the. I think that's like the 10th time we've said that word in the last.
Nostalgic.
The
This
now
we got the name for the episode.
The Nostalgic Squad.
The Nostalgia Squad. That's exactly what I was going to do. The name of the episode. The Nostalgia Squad.
I made the guys watch the Monster Squad.
Us as the monsters, Joe. That's the poster.
Yep.
I got you, buddy. I got you.
I think
We can do this.
1987.
No, do it. Do the work. Do the thing I thought of.
All right. Take selfies for me.
I call the Swamp Thing.
Yeah,
No, that's too hard.
That is the best makeup. That's the best makeup in the movie. I was going to say that.
No, it's not. No, it's not. We'll get into it. All right.
Man makeup's the best.
Fred Decker movie, as Joe pointed out, we have now completed the Fred Decker directing filmography of this podcast. Didn't want to do that go into this, but we did it anyway.
TJ picked them all, right? Yeah, I was gonna say TJ picked them all. They've all been TJ picks.
Brian,
No, you picked RoboCop 3.
Ah, RoboCop 3. That's right.
Yeah, so you're in
Early
the
episode.
I'm as guilty.
You
I'm part of this. Yeah.
Monster Squad, guys, is not too much about the plot. A group of kids, 4 kids, and a little sister find a book from Van Helsing when Dracula has come back and is trying to raise the creatures of the night world.
The mom just casually gets that book too. Like, hey, I happen to find this book.
Yeah.
Here you go. Thought you might like it.
It's that guy you like.
It's like an
Van Helsing.
tome.
Classic 80s movie in a sense. And when we say classic, I mean it just has all the 80s tropes you would come to hate nowadays in 2020. We'll get into that now, but I think all of you have seen this movie before, correct? At some point in your life?
Yes.
No?
No, this is your first watch for Yusef.
Go off, girl.
This was a Red Dawn effect. I saw it through pop culture and internet, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen this movie." And as soon as I hit play, I was like, "I've never seen this bullshit in my life." Yeah, it's very. I guess TJ alluded to it. It's very homophobic.
They really they hit it hard right at the top.
They double down.
And it's all across the board. Heroes and villains, they all are like. It's not like just the bad kids are homophobic. Our heroes are super homophobic too.
Dad's a cop.
Yeah,
Dad's a cop. Also, we got back into
yeah.
peeping. Peeping's on the table again this week. We're back in on peeping on unsuspecting girls, violating their privacy. Classic trope.
And blackmailing with nudes.
Then blackmailing her and slut shaming. Don't forget about eventually we're slut shaming her too.
Oh, yeah.
I think though the thing with this fucking movie is like it has to be good to overcome those old tropes to be like, I still like it anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
I got some things to say about that one.
Yeah, it would have needed to be good. I agree.
I could get
was-
past that shit. I could get past that shit. Like, whatever. If there was like things in the movie, except for there were some things I really fucking like, and we could get into them. But overall, I'm like, yeah, like this isn't going on my Halloween watch list again.
Yeah,
I was very
one of those where it's like we had a premise. The premise is strong. You know, we're gonna get the monsters together, and we're gonna have kids. And what they thought was, and this is what they should have fucking done. This is was one of my big notes. This should have just been a Goonies sequel. The kids in this movie are so goddamn forgettable. They're useless. Like, just bring the Goonies in, make Goonies 2 the Monster Squad, and have this be their second fucking adventure.
So follow me along. I forget the kid's name, but like the main kid,
Fat kid.
he looks like he could play young Tom Atkins. He has the same fucking face.
I see that. Are you sure it's not just his bangs?
Before you finish giving me your thoughts, The only kid recognizable from this movie is the younger brother who blackmails older sister over a naked picture of herself. He was
Frankenstein's monster took.
Yeah,
By
and then
mistake.
he was also jumping for at one point. He's a little boy from Children of the Corn with the little sister who Sarah Connor.
Oh,
and
he's like the actual kid who gets saved or whatever.
Well, no, the bully is 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he's just the bully. He's not even one of the main kids.
He had to eat a Snicker like a bitch.
All right, finish giving me your first thoughts. Use that before we start getting into this.
Oh, I'm just confused as to whom the target demographic is. Like, is this like a kids movie because they're like dropping a-holes and shit and
bitch, yeah,
F-bombs
and the F with the T in the end, and I'm like, where are we headed with this one? Because they open with a title crawl with the gall to assume that whoever's watching this movie knows how to read.
Yeah.
It took me forever to figure that one out until I could get that one.
I do like the title part of the title crawl where it says they blew it. That made me laugh.
That's the only point that I laughed in the entire thing.
I was like,
ooh, maybe this is
And then
funny.
I thought, like, the production value on the movie's pretty tight. I like the way it looks. I thought the brides, like the vampire brides, were actually legitimately pretty scary at the very beginning, and they come back later. Like, I think the thing is about this movie that everybody loves is just the idea of monsters teaming up and then all the actual monster stuff, like
the look,
the creatures. People love the creatures.
I love this version of the Mummy. Like, I like that he looks like Eddie.
And I like how useless he is, like how useless an actual mummy would be.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them were useless, though. All of them were useless. Like, none of them.
Wolfman's pretty good. He's indestructible.
But he's trying to betray them at all turns.
He wants your chaos.
Good arc.
He's Uncle Rico from.
And Frankenstein
is that Uncle Rico?
praised him off the bat.
Yeah, it's Uncle Rico. And Frankenstein
just went swimming.
Yeah, Frankenstein is Tom Noonan from Last Action Hero.
Last Action Hero.
Oh, that's Tom Noonan from RoboCop 2?
Yeah.
He has better makeup in Last Action Hero. Hashtag hot take.
Dude, are you okay? First of all, before we do this, all right, the monster designs, all this are obviously all Universal style designs, which Stan Winston I thought fucking nailed each and every one. Like even the Dracula, it was so cheesy, but the look of him and the actor playing him was like very.
Yeah, the actor leaned in for sure.
Yeah, like the jaw.
Is this the worst Dracula I ever put to film?
No,
because remember Dead and Loving It?
That would be Dracula Told.
When did Dracula use dynamites and explosives to get his shit done? I was so confused when him
just took me a while
lighting matches and throwing them bombs.
I do like that they blew up the dad's partner. That was hardcore because that guy sucked.
And then the which I didn't notice like back there. I agree with you, Yusef, when the Dracula first finds the amulet where he's hitting the wall with the hammer. And he just like looks through, and then it takes like the movie time for them to get back to him blowing it up. When I was a kid, I was like, why didn't he just keep going and walk in? I mean, probably one of the last rewatches before this, I finally noticed all the crosses around, which was a nice little touch. Obviously, he probably had to use either Frankenstein or the Wolfman as someone to walk in there to get it for him. So like shit like that, like you can kind of like see, but fuck, man, I loved this movie growing up. This first like 40 minutes, like before it gets into like, there's one moment where it hits for me, and then I was like, okay, this is why I love this as a kid. That first like 30 to 45 minutes, like up into Scary German Guy, where they have the pie.
Yeah,
I was fucking bored, and this movie's only an hour and 22 minutes.
Yeah, it takes a minute. Now let me guess, the one moment that you liked was that when Richie Aprile tries to drop Dracula out of the plane.
I do love that fucking scene where it's like he's like his partner is like, I'll stay here and make spooky sounds. It's like,
yeah,
you heard a noise, there's no way you thought someone's up there. So first of all, where does this take place? Because it's a swamp. There's a kid in a Confederate flag hat. Is this like Louisiana?
That's a good question. They never really nail it down, do they?
They don't have an accent. There's no southern like twang to anybody. Maybe Florida.
I don't know. Wherever they think penny loafers are cool.
That's the thing. They try to get some tropes in this one where they have like the cool kid who joins the nerd group, like Bad News Bears, and they have, but like I said, this group of kids is really super forgettable. Like I said, this should have just been the Goonies, and also, like, what the fuck is going on with the fat kid? That's not even creative. Like, at least Chunk, like Chunk's not a creative name either, but goddamn, like fat kid, like that's just fucked up.
Horace.
And my name is
Horace.
How about Husky Horace? Come on, that's a great name.
Yeah, and then like they do all the things with the F words and the Confederate flag thing, and then like super homophobic. But then they throw in like the Holocaust moment where the scary German guy ends up being, a survivor from the Holocaust when he shuts the door.
Disclosure, I watched this with Harrison, and it was an interesting moment to like explain to him what was going on with that.
Never noticed when I was a kid. Never ever noticed it when I was a kid.
Like that's a nice touch if it led somewhere.
Well, yeah, he's like, you know a lot about monsters. He's like, as a matter of fact, I do, and does the story say beautiful moment.
I like that scene. Like that's what I would look forward to. That like it shows like humility.
Well,
with
and the
guy,
whole thing about like the kid, flipping the script on the kids and him being really nice, but he also kind of calls them out. He's like, you probably thought I was evil. You were scared of me, weren't you? You know what I mean?
I still think he's evil though, because he fucks up that pie when he's cutting it. I was like, you're just giving me mush.
He mashed it all up, dude.
By the way,
you're a fucking monster.
This is Louisiana.
Oh, okay. That's Louisiana. That makes sense.
Except that nobody has an accent, but sure.
I was looking at my notes, and I what the fuck is wrong with their mom that she casually, the mom from Goonies? She casually opens the door after.
Son of a bitch! I never put that together.
She is the mom from Goonies, so technically those are the Goonies.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. She's the connector.
All right, and the podcast. So where can the people find you? She casually opens the fucking door after 3 explosions and gunshots. And she's just like opening the door. What's happening? Like,
Dale? It's like there's moments of this that I like they use with all the monsters. That makes sense. Like the very first time you see Frankenstein, when Dracula sends him to like kill the kids, and he walks up to the little girl, she's throwing the petals of a flower into the river.
That's nice.
Sure. Yeah, they're doing they're doing the universal thing. I like it.
And like the werewolf going through the swamp at night before he runs into Dracula. It's a classic that they use for the thing. But then there's scenes like that where Dracula like spends like 5 minutes blowing shit up, and she just like, "What's is missing?" And like,
but I love what a petty bitch Dracula is, where he's like, "I'm gonna blow up their clubhouse."
Yeah. And, he says
literally a tree house. He's gonna blow it up with dynamite.
He hits it with like he hits it with the Arnold line. He like throws a bomb in, and as he's walking away and it blows up, he's like, "Meeting adjourned," and it's like he's going. He has those.
He is the worst Dracula I ever put in the film.
Give me the ambulance, you bitch! Oh man,
he called a 5-year-old a bitch.
I love that he called the little girl a bitch, because to him, everyone's a child.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There's no difference between a person who's 5 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old. He's been around for hundreds of years. They're all, and I love the way he hisses in her face too. I love it. I love that.
Oh, then
the only scene that I say that was badass was when the werewolf exploded and came back together.
Yeah, that's a good one. I really like when we see the half transformed Dracula, where they shoot him and he flies, and then he sees he's like the half bat transformation. That's pretty dope. I like that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, where it really takes off for me once you get through the fucking slosh at the beginning is the waking up on the day of, where at midnight, the whole shit's supposed to go off, and they just kick right into a music montage, and it's that "Rock Until You Drop" song, and just like the fucking kid who's got the penny loafers, he's lighting cigarettes off, is in the middle of metalwork class making bullets, They have a
Yep, they're
bullet
fine with
molding
that, I
machine.
guess. Okay.
Yeah, they have a bullet molding machine, but like that into
Louisiana.
and then you get the whole. I mean, plot hole. If Dracula is supposed to be waking up or getting all these evil creatures of the night with him, don't you think he would have looked into like the weapons we use today? Because they all went down to Creature Lagoon.
Yeah,
Mummy.
Creature Lagoon takes just one shotgun blast to take him down. That's
Done.
it.
Yep.
Like at least Wolfman's basically indestructible with without a silver bullet.
And that
Yeah.
moment where he's like,
He has Nards.
that hits, man. Thank you.
The Nards, he really like takes a moment too.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like that's a big kick. Horace is really the hero of this movie. Can I say
Horace, yeah.
something about the Wolfman? Now, I'm a big Stan Winston guy. Everybody knows it. Can I say that I think the transformation effects are better than the final look of the Wolfman? The final,
Yes.
like, there's something
Yeah,
a little
I agree.
off about his
He looked
Wolfman
like a
face.
pug.
Yeah,
Like-
it's weird. He
He
doesn't have enough of
He
a
did have
snout. He needs more snout, you know?
He should be like,
Yeah.
And also, we need to talk about how gross and weird it is when kids' movies have purity virgin storylines. They fucking do it in Hocus Pocus, and they do it in this movie
Yeah.
too. Like,
It also has to
quit
be a female,
sexualizing
'cause all
children.
those
Knock
kids-
it off.
yeah,
Like, I
and
don't
also
want to
all
think
those
about
kids,
the little
boys are
girl as a
virgins.
virgin. That's gross. Like,
Yeah,
To
they
look
never,
at her and it's like the comedy beat. Like, couldn't it have been one of those boys?
yeah, those
Yeah.
boys are all virgins, right? Like, ain't none of them had done shit.
Even the girl who was like, I'm not really a virgin, like the teen. I'm like, what are you like? Supposed to be like 15? Like what?
16.
Yeah, and it's but also there's it's just that gross thing of like we don't like the purity issue and like that whole like it's another like element of control
guess
over
it's more of-
dads and daughters. There's like this big thing of like control and stuff, and it's just like a gross thing. It doesn't need
I
to
guess
be a
Brian-
part of this.
Ryan, there's more of a problem
She
actually.
was so hot though.
I mean, I don't have any children, but if I have a daughter, I want her to be a virgin just in case I have to sacrifice her.
Well, you're gonna take her to the doctor and get her checked out, right?
Yeah,
wasn't-
just in
no.
case I have to sacrifice her, man. You never know.
I think I think it's more of a plot issue though. In Hocus Pocus being a Disney movie.
Fair.
Oh yeah.
I think
I
that's
mean, I
more
can
of a
see Fred Decker being a gross creep and being like, "Yeah, you gotta be pure." Yeah, I picture that's by Fred Decker. Hey, make
forget- don't
sure
forget.
that girl ain't all fouled up before she
also,
gets to Dracula. You
let's,
know what I'm talking about?
Shane
No,
Black. Shane Black is a co-writer on this. They wrote it together, so he's you know how he writes, and
that's right. We know how he feels about it.
yeah, I mean, there are like I think Frankenstein's a really nice twist on it with him working with the kids, but then he gets wiped out in the house and then just shows up out of nowhere. Does
It
the
is
girl?
a legitimately a sad moment at the end. You
Oh,
have the Harry
so
and the
sad.
Henderson moment with the little girl. That works. You know that I
Oh,
buy
man.
it.
And she throws Scrappy to him. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that okay. So another thing too, the thing that the black hole that's supposed to come when you say the words right is only supposed to suck in evil. It was sucking in everybody.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
everyone's
absolutely. It
evil.
sucked in a couple cops. Like those must okay.
Well, I
it sucks
mean,
in evil.
Everybody was racist down there.
Because everyone's evil.
Well, and also like, how did Abraham Van Helsing come out of the thing to grab Dracula and be like, "I got you," and then Dracula
Then he's like-
gives a thumbs up. So dumb. Oh my god.
movie.
So I guess is it like a time warp in there? Nobody ages, nobody
It's
changes.
It's like
Yeah.
the Phantom Zone. He's just been spinning around in there for 100 years.
He just comes out, and then here's another thing: the little Confederacy kid, he writes a letter to the army in crayon and just like, "Dear Army, monsters are here." Spells it all wrong.
I
Sends
thought that
it.
was cute.
No fucking army's gonna show up. Nobody.
I don't know. That handwriting
thought
is
that was
very
cute.
white.
It's that's okay. Like that I can chalk up to kids movie shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But it was a funny bit. Like they showed up too late and the kids had saved the day. And they have like that great Cosling line where like, where are the monster squads? And then they just stared at each other very awkwardly for like 3 seconds. It's like you could have closed it like 3 seconds
For the
before.
Monster Squad.
Dude, that music is so good.
Goonies 2, The Monster Squad. I'm telling you, that's what it should have been.
That's actually really good. All right, let's go ahead and
Going
use
to the rating phase.
All right, you can start, Joe.
4.2. I straight
Pull
up
it out of your ass there.
I like the makeup. It's short. Like I wouldn't be mad if someone put this on. That's why it doesn't lose more points.
Yeah.
You know, like I think going into this, it started at a 6 for me. Like since the last time I watched it.
Yeah.
Because I will say this, and I'm saying in the pre-recording is, I actually watched Goosebumps 2 right after this, and I'm like, this isn't I'd rather watch these movies.
Goosebumps and Goosebumps 2 do capture the vibe here pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
Than these at all. So that's where I stand with my 4.2 virgins.
We got Brian.
This is from my era, but I did not really grow up with it. And like I said, my wife has nostalgia for it, and my kid was really into monsters and stuff. So like, I remember us showing this to it. But then like, you got all the shit with the homo and the fat word, and it's bad. It's bad stuff. It's hard, and and like. This is a prime, but it's a good idea. So this is prime for a remake, really. Like, just do the concept again and just cut out. You literally don't have to change much because some of it's very solid. Get get some of the fucking Stranger Things kids or whatever the next generation, kids from the Sack Lunch Bunch or something. Put them in there and do this shit up. I would give this. I'm gonna stick right around there with Joe, like a 4.5 or something like that. Because, like I said, it's got some fun elements and it's got some good makeup. It just really is being hindered by the time it came out and the kind of shitty way people acted and talked and were and still are. I mean, but we should be better.
What you got, Yusuf?
Yeah. It's an okay premise, bad execution, solid makeup, horrible kid acting.
Oh yeah, we only talked about what they said. We didn't talk about how poorly they said it.
Yeah. And the worst Dracula ever put to film. 3.5 kicking the balls.
Yeah. Nards. We call them nards here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we couldn't say bad words back then.
Cojones.
But TJ, nostalgia bucks. How much did you cash in?
This one hurt my nostalgia DVD bunker in my head. This one hurt a little bit. So, I mean, again, I like the end. I love the creature designs, even Dracula. I'm going to give this a clean 5 smashed Snickers that still look appetizing. I feel like it's still want to eat that Snickers.
They look fine.
It did look good. But yeah, this one hurt a little bit. I still will watch the movie. I'll show my kid when I have a kid when he's like a little bit older.
Well, you just got to go to just when he's old enough to understand context, and you can be like, "Don't say these things. Here's why. Here's why it was wrong when they were saying them. It wasn't okay back then either."
Yeah. So I mean, I'll give it a clean 5 Snickers, and yeah, man, it hurt. I believe Brian, you're next, right?
Oh yeah, it's my turn to pick. Usually I would do some terrible trivia, and I do have some things on the back burner for next time, whenever it comes back around. But I actually thought of a pick that I thought would be something a little bit.
Hello, guys, I can't hear shit.
Oh, you can't hear?
Fine.
Anybody hear me?
We can close it out.
Just wrap it up. Just wrap it up, huh? Keep going. Cut this out. Cut it. So anyway, I picked something because we've all been binging Hannibal. Everybody's been enjoying Hannibal so much on Netflix. And it's funny that we just had Tom Noonan pop up in Monster Squad. So I think it's perfect time to watch Michael Mann's Manhunter.
Yeah!
Hello?
Joe, just celebrate, Joe. Go,
shut
up. Hey. Just give us some celebration, Joe. Nothing? You still got nothing. Oh, well. We'll tell Joe the DM.
I don't know what.
Joe will find out what we're going to watch next time in the DM, and you can find him on Twitter at Chendango1, making funny jokes. You can find me at Hercules, also on Twitter, making the same jokes, not quite as funny.
You guys can find... No, man, you're the closer.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You guys that are on Flyover Theater Film YouTube right now, check out our most recent bracket that just dropped about comedy duos. We got flybys that dropped. Go check those out. There's a bunch of them. I'll name them off the top of the head. Episode 52, 51, and 50. Guys, have a happy 4th of July. I almost said New Year. And TJ Dax on Twitter. Yusuf.
Wildlovemovies.com. Bye.
Bye.